Hey everybody, today I want to take a quick look at finishing up the unit circle. So we've looked at sine, we've looked at cosine, where those numbers come from. The last thing we haven't looked at is tangent. I did it briefly in the other video. I didn't like how I did it, so I want to take a second, go back and redo that just one more time for people who need it. So going back to that 45, 90 triangle that we used to create one of our unit circles, let's take that triangle one more time. So when we did the triangle, we found that my hypotenuse was 1 because of the unit circle. We found that my x value was the square root of 2 over 2, and that my y value, or my opposite value, was the square root of 2 over 2 as well. Well, remember too, again, that this was a 45-degree angle. So then if I do the tangent of that, right, tangent of 45 should be the opposite, which is the square root of 2 over 2, over the adjacent, which is also the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, now I know we could say, okay, well, anything divided by itself is 1 other than 0. But let's actually go through the math here. So I'm going to look at the right side here. I'm going to ignore the left side for right now. I'll bring it back later. So looking at the right side, when I'm dividing two fractions, remember we're going to keep, flip, and change. So now we're multiplying, okay, which is going to give me 2 square root of 2 over 2 square root of 2, which does indeed cancel to 1. Okay, and we can always go back and check this, right, and say, okay, well, what is the tangent of 45? Okay, which I get 1. Okay, I happen to be in the right mode. Yay. Now, thinking about our 30-degree angles. So if this was 30 degrees, I had 1/2, and then the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, doing the same idea, tangent of 30 is equal to 1/2, the opposite, over the adjacent. Okay, which means we're going to get 1/2 times 2 square root of 3 cancels. I'm going to have 1 square root of 3 or square root of 3 over 3. Okay, and I can check that. Tangent of 30. Okay, I get this gross number, but then we can check it with square root of 3 over 3. And I get the same thing. Okay, so what we can say from this then is that the tangent of any angle on the unit circle is equal to the y over the x. Okay, or if we want to put that in colors, remember we said the y's are red and the x's are blue. Okay, you can make that any color you want, doesn't really matter, but that's going to give you what you need. Okay, now something to note. So if I go through and I do a couple of these, okay, I get, let's do pick a color here. Let's go with brown. So y over x here is going to be 0 over 1, so 0. We did this one earlier, it's just 1. Okay, now on this one I have a problem because I have 1 divided by 0, which does not exist. So we're going to say here for this one, undefined. Okay, now if I look, these two numbers are the same over here on the left as the ones on the right. The only difference being I have a negative. Well, a negative divided by a positive is going to give me a negative. So I should get the same number, it's just going to be negative. 0. Negative is going to give me a positive, so I end up with the same number. And then down here, again, undefined. And then a positive divided by a negative should give me a negative. Okay, going over to our other, and if you need that, go and pause your video. Going over to the other circle, same idea. Okay, and we already know what these are because they're on both. Okay, well, just a second ago, we found out that this was the square root of 3 over 2. Using that same logic from before, one of these is negative. Both of these are negative, so we're going to get a positive. And then 1 is negative, so we're going to get a negative again. Okay, doing that last one though, we need to deal with the 60. So I've got 1/2. Oops, sorry, nope. Do it backwards. I've got the square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. Okay, that's going to be the square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. So I'm going to end up with just the square root of 3. Okay, and we can check that, right? Tangent of 60 degrees gives me this, which should be the square root of 3. And I get the same thing, so I'm good. Okay, so using that same logic, this is just going to be square root of 3, negative square root of 3, positive square root of 3, sorry, negative, negative, and then negative square root of 3 again. Okay, so in short, remember the cosine, too fast. The cosine of any angle is negative 1/2. The sine of any, sorry, I'm going way too fast. So let me slow down. Cosine of any angle is x. I was looking over down here. Sorry about that. The sine of any angle is y, and the tangent of any angle is y over x. So how do I use the unit circle? Okay, it depends on what you're wanting to do. Okay, the nice thing about the unit circle and what it's used for mostly is to go back and forth between things. If I want to know what the tangent of 45 is, well, I would come over to my 45 one. I would go to 45, so 45 is right here. I would go out to the end, and then I would look at my tangent number. It's 1. So the tangent of 45 is 1. If I wanted to know what in radians 225 degrees is, so I would go to 225 degrees. My radians are right there. Okay, if I wanted to know what my sine of 225 degrees is, at 225, sine is at y, so it's right there. Okay, and we can even go backwards. We could even say this, and then we do need to be careful though, because if I say what is the tangent of 0, for instance, well, I've got 2 spots where that happens. And if I say I want it in degrees, I would say 0 and 180. You could also say 360, but that's a coterminal angle, so I don't really say both. But I would want to say 0 and 180. So again, the nice thing about the unit circle is it lets us go back and forth between sine, cosine, tangent, degrees, radians, between any of those things. Okay, you just follow the line, go out to the edge, find the thing you need. Okay, so our unit circle is complete, and at this point you should be able to do the assignment that is below in Canvas. So make sure you get that done. Just do the odds. Don't do all of them. Just do the odds. There should be plenty of practice. If you need some extra practice or feel like you need some extra practice, feel free to do the evens. And I will see you guys next time.